Good day to you. I'm Sister Sarah from the Moravian Historical Society in Nazareth, and today we're going to be looking at an 18th century sewing kit called a housewife, or a Hussif, spelled Hussif. So if we take a look at my housewife, you can see that it unrolls into a couple different sections. All of the housewives that I've seen have been in 3 sections. I chose to make mine with 3 separate pockets, but you also see these with pin cushions or with sections, just strips of fabric to put pins into. So it really depends on your needs, what you want to put into your housewife and how you design it. So in my first pocket down here, I've got some scissors. When I made my housewife, I specifically wanted to be able to keep my scissors in it, so the size that I made of the pockets was based around the size that the scissors could fit into. I've got 2 pairs of scissors that I keep in mine. I've got this style, which is very popular in 18th century. You've probably seen these before. And these, I have a piece of fabric tape on here. This is so I can put this around my neck, and that way if I'm working outside, then I don't lose my scissors. I also have a pair of more fine embroidery scissors. So I keep those in the pocket down here. And then on here, in this pocket, I've got some hat pins. These are for when I'm not doing a Moravian interpretation, when I'm doing non-Moravian, perhaps an English style outfit. So these are to pin the caps to my hair, keep them from coming off of my head. I've got some fancy pins here. Again, this is for non-Moravian dress. This is for pinning closed bodices and short gowns. I've got some bobby pins and a safety pin in here just for modern necessity, just in case you're doing an event and something happens and you need something. That way I know I've got them in my housewife. The second pocket I have, the outside of it, I'm just using to store some pins there. Very useful for whatever you need, either sewing-wise or when you're getting dressed to pin all of your clothing items together. But inside this pocket, I've got a needle case. So wooden needle case. Inside, we've got a couple needles, so just to keep these handy for when I'm sewing. I've got beeswax for waxing my thread when I'm sewing. And in this pocket, I've also got a thread winder. So this is how thread would have come in colonial times. This is how you would keep your thread from getting untangled. Thread wasn't necessarily in a spool like we think of it today. In the top pocket, we've got some needles just so they're handy for when I'm sewing. I just tuck those in there. This needle, this is called a bodkin. This is a larger needle. It's got a blunt tip. And so this is what you use for lacing stays and for lace-up bodices. So the traditional Moravian style, when you have the either red ribbons for girls or pink ribbons for single sisters, blue ribbons for married sisters, white ribbons for widows. I've also got a pin in here. This is what I wear when I'm doing non-Moravian interpretation. I've also got this pin that I wear when I'm wearing this particular Moravian outfit. This one does not lace up the front. This one is just more of a work style gown. So this one pins closed in the front, so I use this pin to keep it closed. And then inside the top pocket here, I've got some fabric tape just for whatever projects I'm working on in case I need some tape. And I've also got a couple thread buttons. These are what I use on the cuffs of my shift. So in case I break one of these, in case one of them pops off, then I've got a couple tucked in my housewife so I can replace that. So once everything is all tucked in here, then we can just fold this on up. Some housewives you see have either a button here, so a lot of them will have tape ties, kind of like this fabric tape, so you can roll it around and tie it together. But then you can put this in your bag, you can put this in your pockets. You can design your own housewife. You're basically looking for a piece of fabric for the inside. Mine is just a plain unbleached, this is very rough linen. You need something in the same shape for the outside. This was just a scrap of fabric that I had left over from a previous project. You're looking for a basic rectangle shape. And then on the ends, I've got a pointed shape here. I've seen some that are curved. I've seen some that are just squared off. So decide what shape you want. That might depend on how much fabric you've got. But then you need to decide, are you going to go pockets? Or are you going to go a pin cushion or a pin pillow? Some of the housewives that I've seen have leather sections to keep the pins from poking through the backside. So plan out what you're going to have in each of your sections. There's no specific measurements that you need to go off of here. It's just you and your particular needs. So I planned mine around having a pocket that was big enough for my scissors. So think about what you'll need to house all of your sewing supplies. Again, usually they're set up in 3 sections, so you can just roll them up like this. I have seen one that was in a 2 section. I have seen one that was in a 4 section, but most of the ones that I'm seeing are in 3 pieces, so they can roll up like that. And I hope you've enjoyed this 18th century What's in My Sewing Kit. Happy sewing and have a great day. Bye.